give a big thank you to LSU Athletic Director Scott Woodward for coming on today after the big announcement about COVID-19 protocols yesterday and how Death Valley will operate this football season. I know we're all very excited. Scott, what's going on, man? Thank you so much.
Hey, T-Bob. Great seeing you out of practice past few days. It's good, and we're getting excited about this season and getting back to hopefully full stadiums and great tailgating and what we at LSU traditionally love. I'm hoping that this is our first step in a long way back for a bunch of good times and a bunch of wins.
I agree. And you know, and this is a team you've seen them during camp that they got a lot of potential. But let's talk about game day, because by far, in my opinion, the sport that suffered the most from last year's lack of crowds, which was needed, it was football. You just lost so much. So everybody wants a full Tiger Stadium, and some policies were announced yesterday to help enact that goal. Let's start here. So yesterday it was said that if you either have to be vaccinated or have a negative PCR test, proof of a negative test within 72 hours of kickoff. How does that relate to the age range, right? With vaccinations and younger people and where that stands currently. Like, what are the rules relative to the ages of the people going to the game?
Yeah, we just followed the state Department of Health and obviously our health advisors and what and how we approach this. And we took a serious look at how and what we're going to do it, and we enumerated it really clearly yesterday and how we're going to do it, and want our fans to be safe, our older fans, our younger fans, and everyone in between. And that's the spirit we took to this, and that's why we came up with the policies that we did come up with.
And if people, so do you want to expound on the policies here, or they're on lsusports.net for people to go out and seek out?
They are, and as always, we're going to announce more and more details about availability of vaccines, and we're going to have the ability to test in a limited way, and we just ask everyone to plan and be smart about how they do and what they do in preparation for game day.
What is the mask policy? So either have proof of vaccination, negative PCR test in 72 hours. What is the mask policy for once you are in Tiger Stadium?
Yeah, great question, T-Bob. They're outdoors, tailgating, and in Tiger Stadium, there's going to be no mask outdoors, no mask required. Indoors, like the state policy, we are going to require masks, and we're going to require masks for kids 5 to 11 because obviously they can't be vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Only kids 12 and above can be, and so there's not going to be any proof of requirement for kids for infants to 11, and from 5 to 11 we're going to require you to wear masks for their protection, as well as our fans and our patrons' protection.
And then, Scott, I'm sure that this is something that is still up in the air and kind of being formulated. But how do you have any advice in terms of the logistics of game day, right? Like, would you advise people show up a bit earlier? What plans are being put into place to try to affect this so that everybody can go to the game?
Absolutely, and we are preparing, and Dan Gassner, our game day management folks, are working diligently to figure this out. Matter of fact, the team of our game day folks went to the Saints game to see how they managed it and learned to see if we can learn any lessons from their games, and we'll continue to monitor that and watch it. But we're gonna have pre-screening options available on game day that we'll announce soon, and we're just going to be very smart about how we do that and try to get it as smoothly and as convenient for our fans as possible. We're going to go out the tailgates and pre-screen and do some type of pre-screening checking and get this and make this thing fun and as easy as possible.
Well, and Scott, and so you mentioned the word that is on the forefront of many people's minds, and that is the tailgating situation. What are the rules around tailgating as they stand right now?
Yeah, great question. Tailgating is going to be wide open and we hopefully fun. This policy doesn't apply to tailgating, and I want to make that clear. This is strictly for the entrance of the stadium, and but we want people to be safe out there. Do the smart things that you do when you're going around your normal life. Practice a little social distancing, because this is a very nasty virus, with this variant being very, very virulent, and we just have to be very careful. But these policies, again, do not affect tailgating. But please, for everyone, be very careful.
And Scott, I know for many this will appear self-evident, but for many it's not. And so I think it really bears asking, and that is why does LSU feel so strongly in terms of these protocols, especially given that many of LSU's peers around the SEC have already come out and are not taking these precautions?
Yeah, it's all about our student athletes and our fans and our community. We at LSU and for people that come to Tiger Stadium, we want them to feel safe, and we want them to feel like they're at home. And I've already been out, obviously, in the community and talked to fans, and a lot of them are reaching out to us, thanking us for having the opportunity. I had a gentleman that had a wife who's a type 1 diabetic, and said, "Hey, man, thanks. I appreciate you doing this policy, because I feel safe about my wife coming to the game." I had another gentleman saying, "Hey, this is fantastic. My parents are going to feel safe, and I can feel safely sending them to the game." And it's just so important to me, because we couldn't go back to last year. I mean, not only from a just a bummer standpoint, it's just financially brutal what happened, and we want to bring that back. And so we're excited about welcoming 100,000 fans, 100,000 plus fans, and doing it in a safe and proper way. And for you young guys, I mean, T-Bob, I know you watched what happened at Lollapalooza. It's a great result. They had the same policies, and best we can tell, there's only 200 traced accounts of COVID from that 300,000 plus festival. So it works, and it's important to us. And as always, we want to try to do the right thing for our fans.
Scott, I mean, I got to give you credit here. I feel like the old guy. I had no idea about this Lollapalooza thing, but it makes sense. I mean, I guess you're right. I did see videos coming out of the concert, and it was massive. So they used similar protocols, and it worked out. That is,
yeah, and it wasn't a super spreader event that everyone thought it would be, and it's one of those things where, hey, we don't have a lot of evidence of what's happened with big events, because people have been very cautious about them, but the data's been good on outside and things going on outside, and we're just being extra cautious, because, like I said, we love our student athletes, our fans, our students, and everyone involved in LSU. And for us, this is a really smart way to go about being protective.
Okay, wrapping up here with Scott Woodward, LSU Athletic Director. Scott, and obviously y'all are very kind of nimble with these sort of things. As you said, processes are still developing and best practices and whatnot. So all like pertaining to the science and information that comes out, is this stuff open to change through the season?
Sure. Everything is, T-Bob, I love the piece of advice I read in a quote, is that when the facts change, my mind changes, and our minds change. And hopefully this thing, gets better, and we can do things that make sense to what and how we're doing it. And as you saw it, we were leaders in what we did last season, even though as unfortunate as it was with limited fan base is there. We just have to be smart, and like I said, I'm fired up, man. We're gonna have 100,000 people, and hopefully 2x of that tailgating and having a good time, and you know, I just don't want anything that could screw that up.
Scott, what are you most looking forward to for football season? Last one here, because you've been watching the fellas. Who's got you excited?
Yeah, I mean, they all do. Hey, you know, they're like children. It's just you just see it in the whole team, and I hate to sound like you know, like cliche-ish or Pollyannish, but this team is tight, and they've come together really well. They're working their tails off, and I like what I see. The talent is immense. They just have to come together and win games, and that's easier said than done. But I'm excited about this crew and like what I see.
Scott Woodward, LSU Athletic Director, again, laying it out, the protocols for this fall. Any other information and the latest information can all be found at lsusports.net. Scott, thank you so much, man.
Bob, as always, thanks, and go Tigers.
Yes, sir. There you go, Scott Woodward. So a few big takeaways there. The main one, tailgating is going to be restriction-free, so you expect that it'll drive a lot of people in there. Some protocols to get into the stadium. Let's wrap up hour number one when we get back here on Off the Bench.